Yo, what's good, y'all? It's your host, Sage Samurai here, and welcome to the channel. Today I'm here to bring you guys on our part 2, What if Naruto had Laxus' abilities? Part 9, I believe. Yeah, guys, it's been a while, and honestly, I do apologize for that. I was supposed to post this video, like, way sooner, but the thing was, I just been, I just had a lot of work to do these past few days. Yeah, things are getting kind of serious in school now, so that means that, like, I have a lot more work to do. So yeah, it's been filling up my schedule. But hey, at least now that I'm getting used to it, I can now go back to my regular schedule of uploading videos, except I do want to announce the changes. I mean, I did announce them last time, but I just gave like a vague response about what they're gonna be. So let me give you the, like, this is gonna be like the official Sage G Samurai announcement, or like changes to the channel, whatever. I don't know. Either way, the changes are going to be pretty simple. Number one, instead of uploading 3 new what ifs, I'm going to be only uploading 2. And the reason for this one is because of the fact that, keeping track of 3 whole entire like what if series is just, it's kind of difficult, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. Because it's like, on one hand, I'm already like talking about a different story, and on the other hand, I'm focusing on like typing out another story. You know, it gets confusing. I have made multiple mistakes on these videos because of the fact that I continue adding characters from a different what if series into this one. At least I know for sure I can keep track of 2 with no difficulty, but 3, it's a little bit iffy on that one. So yeah, unfortunately, I can only upload 2 what ifs. But hey, you're still getting what ifs, yay! And another thing about that is, you guys already heard about this last time, but I'm only gonna be posting, two what ifs. Like, how can I explain it? I'm not gonna be doing like, I'm gonna make like at least like post 1 video per day. Nah, it's just gonna be like 2 videos per week. That's gonna be like the maximum. There will be some times where I won't be able to post at all, so I'm letting you know and keeping that in mind. But another thing, guys, and this is going to be a good thing, is the fact that since I'm only going to be focusing on 2 what ifs, guys, this one is bringing a lot of good things, because number one, that means that I can actually like shorten out the plot. So that means I can actually try to attempt my own what if movies, which I do believe what if movies are better than an entire what if series. And honestly, I'm not going to lie to you, I always wanted to do a what if movie. It's just I was never really that good at it, because of the fact that you guys already know I like getting into detail with things, and I have a problem with ignoring the details and focusing more on the plot. But, it's the first time for everything, and changes are changes. These changes are required. But yeah, guys, I just wanted to announce all this very soon, and honestly, I'm really glad I got a chance to announce it. So, guys, yeah, so the number of new what ifs that I post out are going to be, like, just going down by 1, of course. But that doesn't mean that you guys are not getting multiple new what ifs. Of course, you guys are getting new what ifs. And also another thing is, you guys are getting much longer parts. It's like part 1 of entire what if series, except I just explained the entire story in just 1 video with my own twist into it. So yeah, guys, it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be lit. I'm gonna be trying to change the way like I write these stories and everything, so that way it can be suitable for like the a what if movie and everything. But yeah, guys, big improvements, big changes. So hopefully you guys do enjoy this. But of course, these changes will not follow through until I'm done with these current what ifs, of course. So with that being said, why don't you guys sit back and relax? And it's finally time for us to get started with this what if. It's your host, Sage Samurai, and let's begin.
You're never gonna make it, you're not good enough. There's a million other people with the same stuff. You really think you're different? Man, you must be kidding. Think you're gonna hit it, but you just don't get it. It's impossible, it's not probable, you're irresponsible. Too many obstacles, you gotta stop it, yo. You gotta take it slow, you can't be a pro. Don't waste your time no more. Who the fuck are you to tell me what to do?
Alright, guys, let's begin. Hopefully you guys do enjoy, and either way, let's begin. So guys, we now kick off this what if with the Akatsuki suppression mission arc. Wow, that's a mouthful. Either way, we kick this off with the introduction of both Kakuzu and Hidan, as they were both sent out to take down the Two Tails. Now, she of course tries to talk trash to them and actually says that she was going to beat them. Unfortunately, though, that didn't turn out quite well, as she was defeated in an instant, and she was defeated with low difficulty. So of course, after hearing this, the Land of Fire will then suddenly send out a distress mission, mostly sending out to nearby villages, seeking help so that way they can take care of any disturbance. Now, of course, the Hidden Leaf Village, who claim right now we're trying to collect more information on Orochimaru, seeing as the fact that he was a potential, and well, no, he was probably one of the higher potential biggest threats to the Hidden Leaf Village, they'll eventually end up getting that distress mission. Now, after reading about the mission, Tsunade had a bad feeling about it, but she shook it off as she sent out an entire team of shinobi along with Team 10 as she sent them all over there to take care of the disturbance. Now, of course, Team 10 will do so along with the rest of the shinobi squad as we will head off to take care of the mission. However, during this time, you're probably wondering, where's Naruto? As he probably should have been the one to be sent out as well. And unfortunately for Tsunade, Naruto was currently busy. She had sent him out on a mission which she had thought would, Naruto would take less time because in the fact that he is way powerful, and this mission really wasn't that much of a big deal for him. But during this time that Naruto left, he was actually trying to communicate with the Nine Tails. Currently right now, underneath a waterfall, Naruto will be in the midst of his training, as he would be trying to confront the Nine Tails in the Mindscape, and right now things were not looking so good. As right now, the Nine Tails was trying his hardest to break out of his cage, and trying to attack Naruto as quickly as possible, while Naruto himself was just staring down at him and trying to get him to talk. The reason for this one was pretty simple. You see, Naruto has already know that this was a generous burden that was put upon him. And no, don't go thinking that Naruto is just going to be like asking for the Nine Tails power, alright? This Naruto actually has way more confidence in his power and skill, and honestly does not rely on the Nine Tails like at all. At most, he probably ends up like having its healing factor, but even then, Naruto barely gets hurt most of the time. So as Kurama was banging on the cage as he was glaring angrily at Naruto, Naruto would then try silencing him as he ends up shaking up the mindscape a lot. Alright, listen up, you ginormous furball. I don't got enough time for this, alright? Listen, I understand it. You hate me and I hate you, but we're not exactly going to get anywhere. We're stuck in this situation. Now, Kurama, after hearing this, would then glare angrily at Naruto before asking him exactly what he planned to do. And this is where Naruto then begins to give Kurama an offer. You see, during this time, Naruto realized, as throughout his entire time training and just throughout his entire time, existing, and it was a simple fact that no matter how hard he tries, at the end of the day, he was still the Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails. And Naruto understood one thing: as soon as the Nine Tails ends up leaving him, he will die. However, what if there was a way for him to extract it without him causing any problems or without him, dying? And that's exactly what Naruto was trying to do. He's trying to communicate with the Nine Tails as a way of him setting it free. In exchange, he doesn't do anything to Hidden Leaf Village or to any other villages and just goes off and does whatever the heck it wants, just as long as it's not bothering him. The Nine Tails would glare angrily at Naruto and tell him if he was stupid, as after all, it didn't matter to him what was going to happen. He was going to destroy the Hidden Leaf Village whether Naruto liked it or not. But Naruto was having none of that, as he begins to rattle up the mindscape once again and sighs as he can only think that this guy was just simply troublesome. And just as he says that, in a different location, we'll see Shikamaru sneezing as he begins to mutter the same thing. So as we now move towards Shikamaru's team, they eventually end up arriving at the Land of Fire. And they of course spread out in different directions until eventually they end up encountering both Hidan and Kakuzu. They seem to just be walking back from a mission, and clearly right now Kakuzu was counting up that money, which I gotta respect it. As this is when both Asuma and Shikamaru then begin to fight Hidan and Kakuzu. And the results go exactly like they do in canon. I'm sorry. Yeah, although Shikamaru and Asuma do make a good team, and although Asuma is pretty strong, unfortunately, he can't beat both Kakuzu and Hidan. So, with that being said, Shikamaru and the rest of Team 10 had failed, and unfortunately, Asuma had passed away. It was a devastating news for Team 10, as Asuma had been there for them ever since the first time they started up Team 10, so seeing the fact that their sensei died really, really hurt them. Eventually, after that, they ended up returning back to the Hidden Leaf Village, and they ended up informing Tsunade about what happened, and instantly they ended up having a funeral for Asuma. It was devastating. However, Team 10 does not let that hold them down, as eventually, after cleaning up and fixing up their wounds, they're ready to get back into action, and they're especially ready to run it back. So, after finally, mourning Asuma's death, they decide to go back to Tsunade, and this is when they tell her straight up that they want to hunt down Hidan and Kakuzu and complete the mission. Now, of course, Tsunade was very reluctant on this one and actually thought about not letting them go at all, mostly due to the fact that, they're clearly not in the right mind, and two, because of the fact that right now they don't have a sensei to lead them. But this is when Kakashi will actually step up, as he says that he will temporarily replace Asuma, at least for now, to which Team 10 would be greatly appreciative of, and Tsunade will allow them to do what they needed. So with that, Team 10, along with Kakashi, will then head off hunting down both Kakuzu and Hidan. And just as they do, we will now turn to a different location, as Naruto had just finished his negotiation with the Nine Tails. It took him a few days, but finally he was finally able to get the fox to at least agree to it temporarily. In exchange, Naruto had loosened up the mindscape, allowing him to run around more freely and also allowing him to relax. And while during this time, all Naruto got in response to this was pretty simple. Now, after he's done making the perfect seal, as that's what his goal was, after he makes a seal that's capable of setting the Nine Tails free, at the same time letting him stay alive, Kurama has to be cooperative with this. So that's what Naruto planned to do, as he begins to work on a seal as he head back to the Enleaf village. After a while traveling, Naruto ends up arriving back, and just as he does, he's informed by Tsunade about everything that has occurred. Now, of course, Naruto was confused exactly what was happening until this when Tsunade would then tell him straight up that she wants Naruto to go after Asuma's team. Now, Naruto would of course question Tsunade about why exactly she wants him to go over there, but Tsunade would just tell him to go, mostly due to the fact that she had a bad feeling about it, and at the same time she knew that Naruto's strength would be greatly appreciated. Naruto would stare down at Tsunade, as Tsunade was of course expecting Naruto to begin demanding something, but to her surprise, Naruto just turns away. He sighs, telling Tsunade that he does end up owing her for being away for too long. Now, Tsunade will be thankful as Naruto will then head off, disappearing in a bolt of lightning, as this is where we then turn our attention to Team 10. And currently right now, the fight was a struggle. Shikamaru had lead away Hidan, as he decided that he will be making sure to be his own personal executioner for Hidan, while at the same time, the rest of Team 10 along with Kakashi are taking down Kakuzu. Unfortunately though, things were not looking too good. Although Kakashi was putting in the work and definitely throwing hands with him, and as well as the rest of Team 10, unfortunately for him, they were running out of chakra. And at the same time, Kakuzu seemed to be just invincible, as no matter how much injuries they throw at him, he just continued fighting back. And true to his word, it was almost seeming like he was completely immortal, like he cannot be killed off. Or at least he was, until someone arrived. As just as Kakuzu began to actually once again attack Kakashi, this time with an even more lethal attack, and just as Kakashi prepared to dodge it, this is when Naruto would make his appearance known, deflecting the attack with ease as he appears in front of Kakashi. Wow, you're really getting old for your age, huh? I guess it was expected with all that white hair, huh? Now, of course, Kakashi ends up getting a tick mark at it, but right now he was too tired. So seeing the fact that Kakashi was too tired to move, Naruto decides to take things in his own hands as he begins to face off against Kakuzu. Kakuzu is of course surprised about the Nine Tails' arrival, but he ends up not sweating at all, mostly due to the fact that he thinks that he can take him down, and also because of the fact that at the end of the day, this just meant more money for him, if he's able to capture Naruto at least. So as Naruto will look at the rest of, everything around him and see all the damage that was done, he would actually be impressed by just how powerful Team 10 were. As he didn't remember much from them back when they were kids, but at the same time, it definitely shown that these guys had grown from the puny kids that were at the academy. As Naruto would nod his head at just looking at everything, he would then turn his head back to Kakuzu, and just as he does, they will instantly get to scrapping. The fight goes on between the two of them, and honestly, at first, things begin to go pretty evenly for both of them. As Kakuzu begins to actually comment on Naruto's strength, saying that he was surprised that Naruto actually grown this strong, but at the end of the day, it was impossible for Naruto to defeat him. Mostly due to the fact that he is immortal, or at least that's what he thought. As Naruto begins to fight Kakuzu, he's actually more or less reading him, as every single time they would throw a punch, throw kicks, exchange ninjutsu, Naruto was keeping track on everything. As Naruto was studying him and reading everything about him, finally he come to the decided conclusion. This man was not immortal, obviously, and this man definitely had weak points and can be taken down. So after a final clash between the both of them, they end up jumping back as Kakuzu begins to actually laugh at Naruto as he begins to get even more twisted up as he shows more and more of his... I don't know exactly what it is, guys. I'm sorry. Like, I can describe it, but at the same time, it's just... I definitely don't want to describe it. So, yeah, I'm just going to say he starts doing whatever the heck he usually does as he begins to try attacking Naruto once again, but Naruto this time actually dodges out the way. So you finally decided to stop countering, huh? Let's see how long that will last. As he begins to swipe at Naruto as he attacks him over and over again, Naruto will begin getting closer and closer and closer until eventually he gets close enough. With this, Naruto then slaps a seal directly onto Kakuzu's chest, causing him to actually be surprised as he jumps back. What did you do to me? He would say. At this, Naruto smirks. Nothing, I'm just allowing a bunch of students to get back their revenge, Naruto would say. Now, Kakuzu wondered exactly what he meant until this one suddenly he would then begin to get jumped by both, Kakashi and Choji and also Ino. More precisely, it was mostly focused on Ino and Choji as they were beating down on Kakuzu. Now, Kakuzu, of course, would be able to respond, and in fact, he'll be able to take these hits with ease, but something was wrong. He couldn't take these hits. In fact, he was actually feeling pain and actually getting closer and closer to dying. And that was confusing him. He was practically immortal. There's just no way he could actually die from these guys, right? Right? But no. Things weren't in Kakuzu's favor. And the reason for that one was because of Naruto's seal. During the entire time Naruto was just exchanging blows with Kakuzu, Naruto was analyzing him from head to toe. Everything. And just like that, Naruto was able to find out about his little neat trick, about his multiple hearts. But the thing is, though, what if he's able to actually stop him from using those hearts and actually expose the true one, the one that'll finish him off? And that's exactly what Naruto did. Although he had to do it quite quickly, it was a temporary seal and it wouldn't last long. But either way, Naruto practically made it to where now Kakuzu was able to be killed. All the other hearts that he currently had were currently locked out from being used, and the only one that he only had was the one that he used to just continue moving. So with that opportunity, the rest of Team 10 began to jump the heck out of him, as Kakuzu is unable to do anything in response. As he tries and tries over and over again to do something or stop them, Naruto's seal was working too much. Damn it, dang it! As he tries looking for a way out of this, he turns to Naruto, who's watching him with just a smirk on his face, and that set him off as he rushes towards Naruto. He pushes both Ino and Choji as well as Kakashi away as he rushes towards Naruto as he tries to stab Naruto directly in the chest. Unfortunately for him though, it was already too late. Naruto already seen the attack approaching with Sai as he ends up dodging out of the way in an instant, and as he does, he ends up actually grabbing Kakuzu from behind and turning him around. Now Kakuzu will be unable to move as this would actually be one of Naruto's clones holding him down, as the real one had just moved out the way for the incoming attack. And just as he actually now was facing the direction that Naruto was showing him, this is when Kakuzu's eyes will widen. As from behind, you can see Ino and Choji and Kakashi as they make their way towards him with the final attack, each one directly leading to his chest. As Kakuzu would try his hardest to try moving out the way, it was impossible. As with the final hit, with Choji hitting him over and over again, and with Ino throwing out like multiple small little flowers directly to his chest. To which at first Kakuzu was confused until suddenly he would then begin to see like his skin begin to erode as they begin to make a path, allowing his heart to actually be visible. And just like that, Kakashi would come in with the lightning blade. This will end up finishing off Kakuzu as he's unable to do anything in response, and this will finally allow Team 10 to get the revenge on the rest of them. As after this, we can now move forward as after finally getting revenge, Ino and Choji just broke down right then and there as they look into the sky with a smile, happy that they were able to avenge Asuma. And at that same regard, you'll see Shikamaru now returning back. You can see that his eyes were a little bit puffy, but from now on, he actually had a smile, a light one on his face, as he looks into the sky, happy that he was able to avenge his sensei as well. And all the while this was happening, Naruto would turn to Kakashi, as the man himself was just he was just happy about everything Team 10 accomplished on this one, and he was glad that he was actually able to contribute at least. So with that, things have finally come to an end for the Akatsuki suppression mission. As just like that, we can now move forward, moving on to the next chapter. As this is where we now turn to Tales of Jiraiya the Gallant. Now, some people might be confused considering the fact that I just probably skipped over 2 arcs, which I'm just going to say this. For the 3 Tales mission arc, that one is not really that important. It doesn't really focus as much. As I'm just going to say in this one, and this what if they captured the 3 Tails much earlier. So yeah, the 3 Tails was captured much earlier on. And for the Itachi pursuit arc, I'm just going to say this right now. They're not going to be actively hunting down Itachi, as the only reason that they truly were trying to hunt him down was mostly a way to get closer to Sasuke. And of course, Sasuke is still rotting in prison, so yeah, that's not happening. So with that, we can now move on to Tale of Jiraiya the Gallant. And oh boy, I'm sorry to say this, things are going to go down quite similar. So starting off, Jiraiya would return back to the village with information about the potential location of the Akatsuki's leader. Now, he would be informed about everything that's been happening, and during that time, Naruto would actually be at the village. He would be chilling, actually eating at Ichiraku Ramen, as for some reason, he just can't stop now. He's now increased the limit to now 3 bowls every single week. And the Ichiraku, they were actually more than happy to have Naruto over, as they honestly felt regret by everything that happened to him as a child. And sure, although they didn't contribute to it, they didn't really help out either. So this was actually a really good way to connect with Naruto. And honestly, not only that, but Naruto was connecting with them very well, as he has to admit these were probably one of the handful of people that he has that he can say he genuinely had a good connection with. However, as Naruto was enjoying his time over there at Ichiraku Ramen, this is when he would then be called in by the Anbu, as they would tell and announce about Jiraiya's arrival, to which Naruto ends up heading off. Now, after paying, of course, Ichiraku Ramen, he's got to show his appreciation. So after he ends up arriving over there, he ends up actually just hanging out with Jiraiya for a little bit, as again, this was one of the very few people that Naruto respects, as him and Jiraiya would just be hanging out, catching up on everything, with Jiraiya giving Naruto a valuable piece of information about, Orochimaru as well as the Akatsuki. Although there was something up, as Naruto realized that there was something different about Jiraiya's tone, as well as the fact that Jiraiya seemed to be hiding something. Now, Naruto didn't want to pry in, mostly because of the fact that if it didn't involve him, then it's none of his business. However, he was curious about exactly what Jiraiya was hiding. As after that, Jiraiya would then end up waving off Naruto goodbye, as he tells him that he was heading off on a different mission, to which Naruto just shrugs, telling him not to die. Jiraiya would laugh, of course, at this as he ends up heading off, and sooner or later he ends up encountering Tsunade. Both of them end up talking to each other, as Tsunade actually begins to try talking Jiraiya out of going, as she already knows that Jiraiya actually planned to go to the potential location of the Akatsuki's leader. He informed her about it. However, unfortunately for her, Jiraiya doesn't listen, and instead he decides to head off, saying that it was necessary as a way to protect Naruto, as well as the rest of the Hidden Leaf. Now, Tsunade did not like this one bit. However, unfortunately, Jiraiya still would head off either way, as he was too stubborn to quit. However, he does tell Tsunade that after this, they should go on a date, to which Tsunade would end up nodding her head, telling Jiraiya that he would wish for it, to which he ends up laughing and heading off. She will watch him go with tears in her eyes, as this is when the event finally ends up happening. Jiraiya would end up arriving at Amegakure, which I still don't know how to pronounce it correctly. But anyway, he would arrive there, and instantly he begins to scope around, trying to find information, or at least trying to catch sight about the Akatsuki leaders. And just as he does, he ends up encountering both Pain and Konan. They both make their presence known to him, as they easily are able to snuff him out, as Jiraiya and Konan and Pain will then get into a fight. And the fight kicks off pretty well for Jiraiya. In the beginning, he's able to actually pick up a really good fight against them, especially since it's 2-on-1. Oh, I'm sorry, not 2-on-1. It was 7-on-1, bruh. And that's why I gotta respect Jiraiya. This man really was putting in work during this arc, as he fights both Konan and all the Pains. Unfortunately, during the fight, Jiraiya ends up getting caught off guard by one of them, which ends up resulting in him losing his arm, and eventually he begins to get taken down. He tries his best to fend off against them, even entering Sage Mode, but at the end of it, he still just couldn't keep up. So with all the odds stacked against him, Jiraiya knew that there was no way getting out of this alive. But the least he can do was at least give the village a chance, and give them a valuable piece of information. So with that, he ended up asking the help from Pa, as he ended up writing down a message behind his back. With those messages being Jiraiya's final words, Jiraiya would then smile as he finally felt relieved that he was able to help out his village. With the only regret that he wasn't really able to take Tsunade out on a date, or really be able to confess his true feelings for her. So with that, unfortunately, Jiraiya ends up getting jumped by all the Pains, and they do end up successfully killing off Jiraiya, the Toad Sage. So RIP to the GOAT. Later on, as we now turn back to Konoha, we will see Naruto and Tsunade, as currently right now, both of them would be just chilling, doing their own things right now in separate locations. However, this is when Pa would then arrive to Tsunade's office, as he had a very sad face on, as he begins to explain to Tsunade about what had occurred. Later on, as now a storm was actually happening this time, as Naruto would actually be called in by Tsunade by an Anbu, he would arrive there at the office and see the tense atmosphere. "What's going on?" Naruto would say. This feeling was familiar. Death was happening, that was for sure. But Naruto was confused about exactly who he was, or why did it involve him. Now, Tsunade, of course, would actually see Naruto and feels upset and guilty about everything, and she begins to try to explain to him, but this is when Paul would then actually reveal himself. Now, Naruto would actually recognize Paul. As I said, Naruto does know Sage Mode, so Naruto would be actually happy to see him. However, this is when Paul would actually begin to tell Naruto about something, saying that it was better off to discuss it in private, to which they do so. And as we now change scenes, you'll see Naruto currently right now sitting outside of his home and right now staring up at the night sky as he was just recently informed by Paul about Jiraiya's passing. Now, Naruto did not break down, alright? He was not the one to simply break down. The last time he broke down was when his home was completely destroyed, alright? And Naruto vowed from then on he wouldn't break down like that. But to say that this did not take an emotional blow to Naruto would be a lie, because this man was really going through it. Just like that, the whole scenery of Naruto changed as his eyes like turned to hollowed in that very instant. And just seeing this, Paul already knew that something was already up with the kid, as he could see a general shift in Naruto's just tone and just his presence entirely. It was suffocating. As Naruto would understand and take in all this information while staring at the night sky, this is when Paul would actually give Naruto a scroll. He wanted me to have this in just in case scenarios. He wanted me to give it to you, he would say. As just like that, he would wave goodbye to Naruto, telling him if he ever needs anything to call upon him and the rest of the Toads, as he ends up heading out. Naruto says nothing as he ends up looking at the scroll before unraveling it and reading the message. Inside there, Naruto ends up hearing Jiraiya's final words to him, as this was something that Jiraiya wrote right before he actually head off into, to take down Pain and Konan. As he begins to tell Naruto about everything and how Naruto turned out way better than he ever expected him to be. He tells Naruto that he apologizes in advance for pretty much leaving him behind and pretty much not giving him a full-on childhood. But he tells Naruto that all the time that they spent, he did not regret it at all, and that he was very glad to have Naruto as his grandson. And Naruto, after reading all this, and also finally reading the final messages from Jiraiya, Naruto would actually have no choice but actually hold in, as he doesn't like break down or anything, but he does let out a small little tear as he ends up looking into the sky. As Naruto would of course end up bringing his hands together as he actually begins to make a prayer up to Jiraiya, as he was probably one of only a few, if not the only man and the first ever man to truly gain Naruto's respect. Jiraiya was the first ever person to truly gain Naruto's respect. So after letting out this small little prayer, Naruto would then suddenly end up getting up as he begins to start getting into training once again. He begins to train and train, as he didn't care if it was in the middle of the night. He didn't care if it was time for him to go to bed. He was training, and the reason for that was pretty simple. During the following ends of his letter that he received from Jiraiya, Naruto was pretty much given the responsibility of ending the cycle of hatred. And, he wasn't exactly given it, but Jiraiya would actually hope that Naruto actually took it in. Mostly due to the fact that even though Naruto had a pretty bad upbringing, Jiraiya still saw potential that Naruto could be the one to end the cycle of hatred. And that Naruto truly was someone who was destined for greatness. So as Naruto was in the midst of training, he'll be just thinking in his head, actually cursing out Jiraiya a little bit. Dang bastard. Over here giving me the responsibility, ending your so-called cycle of hatred? Nah. That's too much work, Naruto would say as he begins to train, as he begins to destroy multiple amount of trees just outside of his home. Before that, he then suddenly ends up blitzing out into the forest, jumping from tree to tree, taking down any beast that comes his way. Now, Naruto currently, while doing so, would actually think in his mind that although he does not, Naruto is not the person where he's like, oh, peace and justice and everything, or where he's like, oh, I'm not going to kill anyone. No, Naruto full-fledged understands how this world works, alright? He lived in it. But by now, although Naruto does understand where Jiraiya is coming from, he still does not believe that he can fully do it. But it doesn't matter if he believes it or not, because at the end of the day, he was going to do it nonetheless. As even though this was a responsibility that Jiraiya did not place on him, Naruto was still going to take up the mantle. As Naruto would jump for a few more trees, and as he would see these ginormous rocks, he begins to hit them over and over again as quickly as possible. I don't know exactly how I'm even going to do it, or exactly how long is it going to take. But I'll at least promise you this, old man. As Naruto would destroy the rocks, as he finally gets even more of a clear view of the sky, he then looks up. I swear I'll give it my all and try. As this is where we're now going to put an end to this part. So yeah, guys, hopefully you guys do enjoy. This will be the end for part 9 to What If Naruto Had Laxus' abilities. Hopefully you guys do enjoy. Oh my gosh. Sorry guys, I'm very tired. Legit. I am so tired right now. Like you guys could already tell just from the fact that I made this entire video and the fact I'm already like I'm legit ready to go to bed and just go to sleep right now. And the craziest thing is that it's 6 o'clock, bro, and I'm already ready to go to sleep. Crazy, man. But yeah, guys, hopefully you guys do enjoy this what if. Hopefully you guys have a good time. Hope you enjoyed yourselves. And either way, it's your host, HD Samurai, and he's signing off. Peace, and have a lovely day.